I need to get on that water, bro. I'm going home on Thursday. 1 week from today, I'm getting in that lake.
Yeah, we're gonna be
whether I gotta jump off the running fucking track into that bitch, or if I'm on someone's boat. If I gotta suck an old man's dick to get on a boat, god damn it, I will. I know how you girls feel.
Dude, summertime shy, man. How else you gonna get on it?
My brother's big in the Tinder game. I don't fuck with Tinder. I hate it. I hate it so much. It makes me want to kill myself more than Instagram, which is a hard thing to do. But my brother's like, yo, all these girls in their Tinder bios, all it says is like, let me know if you can get me on a boat. Like, me and my girls want to get on a boat. Can you help us? Like, they're desperate out here.
Well,
they've been locked up.
Well, now you need a boat. That's all I heard is you need a boat.
Yeah, I need a boat.
Just rent a boat.
Why do you think I texted George and Paul?
Well, their boats are already going to be full, and those girls are probably on the boat.
I'm trying to reserve their boat. I hit them up as like a customer, bro. I didn't even hit them up as a homie.
Big, how much? What do I got to do? It's like you won't pay to get in a club, but I'll pay to get on George's boat.
Yeah,
100%.
Are you kidding me? There's no rules on the water. The water changes everything for these hoes. All of their morals are rooted in cement. Once you bring them on the water,
it's over. It's like international waters. You can do anything out there.
Gone.
And they're gonna.
Yeah. God bless.
Well, all right. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin.
Okay, we're back at it. Episode 17 and a half, really, because this is our second go at it. The first time the audio got corrupted somehow in the software. I don't know, but maybe it was not the worst thing in the world. I think that there's a silver lining because I did forget to say at the beginning of the episode that the views and expressions expressed by Jesse Seely do not reflect the views and expressions of myself, the Strategy and Dolo show, or even Club Killers. So being able to come back and say that off the bat, I think is a nice thing.
All right.
Other than that, it sucks, though, because we had a fucking phenomenal episode. We had a really good time.
And there were a couple times when you asked me questions and you seemed a little nervous with my answer, and that's what I enjoy.
Well, I enjoy that feeling, so I hope it happens again.
I mean, you could just ask the question again, and maybe I'll just word it a different way, or we can go deeper down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We're going to have to be mindful of the fact that we may mention things that happened in the previous episode, and if that happens, we're going to have to elaborate. You know what I mean? Because we feel like we already did it, because we did. But it didn't happen on the internet. So the question that stands is, if it didn't happen on the internet, did it even happen?
No, it didn't. There's no proof.
And there you have it, folks. Mm-hmm. Jesse Seely believes in the simulation theory. Yeah, I mean, let's fucking start it over. You know, we said that me and Dolo mentioned you on a show multiple times previously, and I think that we need to introduce you and your extremely optimistic attitude on life and the DJing in general. You know, man, who you are, what you do, and we got to get the people to know you a little bit now. We got to redo it.
All right. Let's see if I could sum up quicker this time. Well, I started becoming a DJ when I was dancing. I've been dancing. I was there. I did b-boy shows, a lot of breakdancing, hip-hop. And I need to learn how to make music to my routines, and dancing and DJing is all count. So it kind of flowed together, and then making it up as it went, you know, it kind of became my thing. And then I just started getting a love for it, and I started DJing at 13, buying records from Gramophone in Chicago, buying stuff online, and, you know, just kind of evolved from there. Started getting my first real big gigs when I was 15, had my first residency when I was 16. And then, I mean, I've just been going on from there. I toured when I was 21.
You're like a child star, essentially, in the same way that, like, kids get in the business too early, and then it kind of fucking it gets a little wild. You know, but it's not that extreme. It's like the same thing, but on like a local level.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten arrested. I've gotten in trouble. I've done all that, and I've gotten into fights. I've said some things publicly that I probably shouldn't have said. So yeah, the child star kind of in the DJ world. You know what? I like that.
It's kind of relatable, right?
It really is, because
you're like the Drew Barrymore of DJs.
You know what? I'll take that. She started off as a young kid partying, and that's kind of how I was. I was doing that stuff at 13 that people do in their 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, you grew up quick.
Real quick,
I
man.
can only imagine. I mean, I feel like nightlife has taxed me as an adult, semi-adult, I guess, when I started. But yeah, at fucking 15.
Yeah, I started off rough. There was no real gradual way to get into it. I just started hanging out with a lot of the big hitters, carrying the records, starting in big places, established in Chicago, and luckily enough, they never asked for my ID. I had my crate or I had my backpack, and no one ever asked questions, and I did my job. So
it was a little more fun back then, right?
It was more fun because it wasn't. DJs back then.
Put that mic, you got to have it like in front of you. Your voice has to hit it.
Got it.
I know you're used to like high end.
I got
picks
it.
up
I got
everything. We got to get.
Okay. No, back then DJs.
Let me help you actually.
Whoa, what do you want?
You got it fucked up.
What do you want me to do? What's fucked up? What is this? I didn't fuck it up. You fucked it up.
There we go. Now it's up.
All right. I feel like I'm blowing this thing.
Oh, and I knocked it over. All right. We're out here.
This goes on the blooper reel.
Good thing I don't have, this ain't my place.
All right, is that better? Am I
Yeah,
good to
where
go?
were we? I interrupted you. I'm sorry. But I wanted the audio to be good. We're coming from bad audio, and we have to make this one great.
We really do. Man, oh yeah, DJs back then, man, they really were rock stars because it was a dime a dozen. Not everybody could do it. There was more art, there was more skill to it. Now it's just so easy to just buy a laptop and you're good to go. And so it was more of an art form back then. And I was excited to go see DJs. Now it's hard to just go into a place because everyone's doing the same thing now, and it's not, it's not cool anymore to me, honestly. It's just when I see people like I'm a DJ, it's like, of course you are.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it used to be like, oh shit, you're like, yo, that dude's a DJ. Now it's like my nephew's friend DJ'd my bar mitzvah. It's
pretty much. I mean, I've been asked to teach their kids how to DJ, and I'm like, no, that's not. No one taught me how to DJ. I just bought records, learned on my mom's turntable my songs, and then that was it. That's how I learned, and I feel that's the only way you can learn. Which, it's funny, when I wanted to start DJing, I asked my buddy Billy the Kid, who's Bill Basil.
Shouts to Billy the Kid, Chicago legend.
I really wanted to get in because I would sit in his basement while he was making music and doing mixes for B96, and I was like, man, I really want to try this. And he's like, well, you're just going to have to figure it out like we all did. And I took that as tough love. I wasn't mad at him about it because all it did was it made me figure out my own way of learning and my own style.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that's kind of looked at as like being an asshole these days. If you were to say something like that to a younger kid right now, I feel like they wouldn't be able to understand like, oh, this is tough love. This is how you earn your way. This is how you weed out the people that are not, you know what I mean, that need to be weeded out. You just sound like an asshole saying something like that. But there's the DJ game is a sacred thing.
It really is. It's a true art form, and that's why I'm saying it's hard when people tell you like, oh, I'm going to start DJing, and it's like, okay, well, it's hard for me to, I wouldn't say respect you, but to know that you would never go through what we had to go through to actually start to learn how to do it. There's really a training that you have to do with, one, your ear, two, the technicalities, and now with it just being a digital world, I mean, you can do anything. What are you doing?
I'm really freaking out here. I'm going to be honest. Soda is just slowly making a river through the apartment.
DJ.
There's cords everywhere.
DJ, we need...
No, I think it's fine. Well, maybe if we just throw a towel on it. I don't know. I'm disgusted in my actions over the last 2 days. We fucked the audio up. Now I kicked over the soda.
Is it me? It's got to be me, right?
I'm a little nervous around you, I think. I'm not. It's like normally it's Dolo, and like I keep looking over, and there's this angry Sicilian. It's not like this docile Danish guy.
Yeah, he's wearing glasses. I get it. Like he looks like a librarian with tattoos.
Yeah, he looks. One of my boys, one of my best friends, when they first met Dolo, like he was like, dude, he's nothing like I thought he was gonna be. Like I thought he was an accountant. Like if I look at him,
He's a dork.
if he looks like an accountant before the tattoos, you know. But yeah, no, he's nothing like that.
Yeah, when you see him now and he's all tatted up, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, something's going on with this guy.
So the DJ game is sacred, and you had to pave your way. Thank you very much for that. When did you learn that you love taking requests from strangers?
Never. There was not one time that I took it, because the whole point of me getting into the game was basically I wanted to play music that I loved, and that was house music. But, you know, when you get into the game, especially like that, you got to be able to play everything, and especially if you want to make your way up. I mean, these guys are playing what they want because that's what they earned to play, and I had to earn my way. You know, I started off playing Euro when I was like, I'm a house DJ. Well, I was DJing at Zero Gravity, and like, well, you're gonna have to learn how to play Euro. I was like, all right. So I learned how to play Euro, which is fine. It was just,
What exactly is Euro?
Euro is like cheesy pop European.
Oh, like Sandcastles.
Sandcastle, like, yeah,
What's
old
that
progressive.
fucking song?
Yeah, the Sandstorm, and then Relations, and I mean, there's all classic stuff that you would hear at Zero Gravity, or basically, you know, a rave in Poland or somewhere in Europe.
When I hear that kind of music, I just picture like a young Chris R. eating a Hot Pocket in his room
man.
with his headphones on.
Absolutely.
Hiding his love for Euro from his parents because they want him to do Banda.
I mean, also because he lives with them, so yeah, of course.
No, I'm just kidding. Shouts to the homies. I miss everyone in Chicago, bro. We talked about this last episode, how it's like such a tight-knit community. The DJs, like, there's scuffles and things of that nature, but at the end of the day, it's, you know, that'll happen no matter what. It's a tight-knit community. Everyone kind of respects each other, looks out for each other.
It really is a
helps
family.
each other.
It's a family because, you know, we are there for each other, but we are hard on each other, and we fight. We'll fight for different gigs, but then at the end of it, when we see each other and we talk about it, it's like, hey man, I respect you and I respect you too. So that's why I've had the relationships I've had, and you know, we start out good, and there's been times that I flipped out on you, but then at the end of it, we've always made up.
Yeah, I remember one time you yelled at me at Bull and Bear. It's Sunday night. You were doing the booking, so you're the entertainment director.
Yeah.
I'm DJing. It's industry night. And I remember exactly what I played. I was playing Teach Me How to Dougie, and then I mixed in Last Dance with Mary Jane because the intro to Last Dance with Mary Jane fits just so beautifully with the drums of Teach Me How to Dougie. And I'm playing Last Dance with Mary Jane, and you were very upset about it.
I mean,
You were very upset. You said, this is not fucking Wrigleyville. This is River North. We don't fucking play this bullshit here. And I was like, all right, Last Dance with Mary Jane is out of the crate.
yeah, that was the Last Dance.
That was the Last Dance.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own way, and the one thing that I really got from Dynamic is they really let me figure it out for them, because there was a time when I was even getting into it with the owners to where they wanted a lot of weird stuff and DJ AM, and I'm, you know, not saying anything bad, but DJ AM style really left when he left.
Yeah.
And that's not really a thing anymore. Rock mashups and the very LA style, which that was his style. Like no one else could do it. So yeah, after he passed away, it was one of those things to where it left with him, and that's what they wanted. And then once I would bring in these DJs and I would make the playlist, and they just like, okay, you know what you're doing, and we'll leave you alone, and you got it. So when I book the guys, I book them because I know that they can play a certain way, and you just played that fucking song, and I was like, never will you ever play that song here or with me again.
Yeah, so lesson learned. And actually, sometimes when I am scrolling through my crates and I see that song, I get this haunting fear. It's a traumatic experience. I can't even watch the video anymore, and I used to love it.
Yeah, I used to yell at people all the time because it was one of those things to where, you know, I busted my ass to be this entertainment director at 19 running these places, and it's because, you know, I figured it out. And there's a lot of people, like I said, that will just want to go in there and play how they want, but you really got to earn it like I did.
Yeah, I respect it. And those, even though, you know, you could say that you were an asshole about it. Like it's not even really that. Like it's the fact that it was said, and I learned a lesson from it, and I took something from it, and that I think made me a better DJ. Understanding where you are playing records, you know, according to what the club is trying to, what the atmosphere of the people booking you are trying to do, you know? And sometimes people just need to tell you those things, and I respect you for it.
I appreciate that. It's just some people need it because a lot of people out here, they just ball wash and they don't want to, you know, this is the guy, so I got to be cool with him, and I can't say what he did wrong. And I'm the person that, you know, will go up to Bad Boy Bill, and if he messes up a blend and be like, "You all right?"
That's fucking wild. That's awesome, actually.
I mean, and
you may even make a Facebook status about it after.
100% I will. I mean, I might delete it later when I realize how terrible it was, but you know, at that moment, it was passion. I mean, I've done it to you. You've messed up during your sets, like we all have. Nobody's perfect, but I'll even turn around and look at him and be like, "You good?
Yeah.
Is something wrong with you?"
You know you're gonna get the Jesse Seely "you good" if he's in the room. And you're DJing, and maybe something's a little off, you know what I mean? You start the record late, you got to fix it. I mean, these are things that we, like, when it happens, I notice it, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I fucked up. But honestly, 95% of the people in the club are oblivious.
They have no
to
idea. And that's actually, that's a cool thing to talk, well, not really a cool thing. It's almost like it sucks. As us being DJs going into any place, it could be any DJ, world-renowned or local guy, and, you know, we're listening. We could be vibing, but, you know, we're critiquing them. We're listening to see if they mess up and be like, "Oh, that motherfucker, like, if that was me, I could go up there and do better." And, you know, maybe it could, but it almost sucks for us to go into places because we're not totally enjoying it because it's our job.
Yeah.
Like, I've definitely been in those places to where, like, I want to hang out, I want to enjoy the music and the vibe, but then all of a sudden just automatically I'm critiquing and like, you shouldn't have played that song, or your blend was off, or do better. I mean, it sucks sometimes.
Yeah. You're like an X-Men with a superpower, but it's like you got to know how to turn it off. Like Cyclops, like you got to be able to put the glasses on.
I mean,
like you could hurt somebody if you took the glasses off at the wrong moment.
Yeah, you know? You're hurting me. Like you said, 95% of the people don't even notice it. They just kind of vibe out, but that's also because that's what they're going for, and that's why it's a curse and a blessing to have.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse.
I mean, you're trying to tell me you've never been to a place and you heard a DJ fuck up, and you're like, "Man,
yeah,
I
all
really
the time.
want to say
I mean,
something."
90% of my day is trying to catch myself just trashing somebody in my own mind, and I'm like, well, why am I like, why does that even you know what I mean?
I know, I
do it all the time.
Yeah, and I think I don't know why I do it. I mean, I kind of know why I do it, but it's one of those things to where if you don't tell someone, then they're going to keep doing it. It's almost, it's tough love. You know, especially if I like you, you know, I'm actually going to go in on you more.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've done to you, I've done to a lot of my friends. I mean, there's been times that Billy has been drunk, and I would say he's one of, if not the main reason why I became a DJ. And he's been drunk. I'm like, "You good?" And he's like, "What do you mean? You think you can go on and do better?" I'm like, "Yes, I can." And I really couldn't, because that guy's a stud. But like I said, you know, you still want your friends to keep you humble.
Yeah. I mean, nothing was better than when you pulled up yesterday and I'm on the phone with you directing you where to go. And you're like, "Oh, where do I go?" I'm like, "Oh, you see me right here?" And you're like, "Yeah, there you are, fatty." And you just put a smile on my face.
I mean, if I were nice to you, it would be weird. Like, it's not that I go blatantly and rude to you. It's more, it's that's kind of relationship that I grew up with my friends and my family, and it's more fun that way. You can't always just be nice.
Yeah, there's a fun, playful, I'm gonna make fun of you. You know what I mean? Like when you're putting on a shirt or something, there's always that thing in the back of your head that's like, one of my boys is probably gonna roast me.
100%.
You know?
I mean, I was, yesterday was a perfect example when that girl called you Harry, and I just looked at you, I'm like, "I fucking told you." Hey, gross. But you're my hairy buddy, man.
Yeah, thanks, bro. You're my hairy buddy, too.
Appreciate
Pause.
that. All right, so what do we got? I mean, we have so many stories and experiences that
We got a lot of stories. We have a lot of points. I think that one thing, just before we get into stories, I like the conversation that we had yesterday about managers, not managers becoming DJs, but managers that are not really in tune with how DJing works 100%. You know, and they hear a song, maybe I think the example I gave yesterday was like, if I'm DJing and, you know, I'm at a point in my set where I got the crowd and I bring them down and I'm playing Usher nice and slow and they're having a great time singing along, whatever, and the manager has just come out of the office because he was in there doing work for the last 15, 20 minutes, and he comes out in the club and he hears Usher nice and slow. There's this panic that they have where they're like, what is this? This is slow music. Like, they don't even see the crowd enjoying it. They just start freaking out and they run up in the booth and, oh, you need to change this, blah blah, this and that. And it's not necessarily that one song. It's just a part. That song is an aspect. It's a part of the entire set of what I'm doing in this room.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that, you know, managers, that it's kind of, all right, you hired us for this job, and you obviously hired us because you know what we do and we're good, and especially either of us. So no manager should ever be coming up to us unless we're blackout drunk, screaming on the mic, or falling asleep in the DJ booth, which I've done numerous of times.
These things happen.
These things really do happen. But with managers, it's times like that, especially if you're doing your job correctly, they just need to just mind their business. Focus on the tables, focus on the bar. Like, you can't do it all. This is also us with programming. We understand when you're playing that, you probably played it after something very high energy, and you know you got to bring them down a little bit. And the best way to do that is, especially as a sing along. And you know what? You play a little bit of Usher, something slow like that. It's going to get sexy. It's going to get sexy.
Even if I don't get them pregnant physically with my penis, I want to be responsible for the penis that gets her pregnant.
It's called consideration, and you're thoughtful, because that guy is sitting there buying drinks for this girl all night. And what's that one thing that could really push her over the edge? It's like, I'm drunk, I'm feeling good, having a good time, and then you hear Usher, and you're just like, we're fucking.
Oh my God.
And you did that. So the manager needs to back off, because you're trying to help multiple people in the club get fucked right now.
Yeah, and yeah, that's, thank you. I never thought about it like that, but
yeah,
I like that.
Someone's going home because you played a song that made them think about it.
What venue are you going back to the most? You're going back to the venue that you have the highest percentage of fucking at.
Ooh, yeah, you're gonna go there, and
you
so
know what I'm saying?
It's business and pleasure all in one.
Yeah.
So that manager just needs to chill out, man. But you don't understand the magic that I'm creating right now and the business. So you go over to that table and mind your business.
It's just always this weird thing that it's like they sometimes, and not all of them.
No,
talking about
there's a few,
type
but
of person,
yeah,
who becomes a manager and has sex with all the girls that I want to have sex with.
Hey man,
okay,
you want the good shifts or not? What are you looking at? don't play dumb.
I lost track. I lost track of where I was at. No, it's almost like they want it. They feel like they're like DJing almost. Like they're DJing without having to DJ. They're coming up like, no, this is not it. No, we don't know this. Play this. No. We want this. It's like, do you want to just DJ?
I mean, I've done that literally to managers, and I've said his name even yesterday. His name is Matt Deichel, and he's a pain in the ass, and he's fired and hired me more times than Keegan Moon. And that's saying a lot.
We're getting spicy.
There was a time when I was playing a cuvée, and I want to say it was Paris by Kanye and Jay-Z. And, man, he made me play.
If you're getting yelled at for playing Paris.
No. I'm not getting yelled at for playing Paris. I'm getting told to play Paris again. Okay. I played it 5 times in one night. And I literally, and this is when I was still using headphones, I took my headphones off and I handed to him. I go, would you like to fucking play? Because I'm going to leave. And he looked at me, he goes, you're going to talk to me like that? Oh, absolutely. I'm done with your shit. You want to pick a new song? I'll play your stupid Superman theme, but I'm not playing this song any more times. So that's was my problem. And those managers just go away.
Yeah, there's how do we dance around this eloquently? Eloquently. I don't even know how to.
There isn't. It's basically someone telling you how to do your job, but doesn't know how to do your job. So you have no right, let alone the skill, to even come up to me. Just so keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. I can't stop thinking about the promo cut that we're gonna make for this episode, and it's exciting me.
I mean, there's some good stuff. I mean, and we still got plenty of time left.
It's exciting me.
It's very exciting.
I'm getting a little horned up.
I mean, what, you want to play some Usher?
Yeah. Well, speaking of people that you love,
There's a lot of them.
Who's your favorite DJ from Chicago? Let's
hold on.
Let's
now,
give
are
out
you
some
being
flowers.
sarcastic?
No, let's
Are
give
you
out
being-
some flowers.
All right, so real people who I really like is Billy all day when it comes to house music, and I can honestly say I learned how to play hip hop by watching Flipside play at Level, that doesn't exist anymore, and Spoon on Sundays, which also doesn't exist anymore, and I would just watch his hands, and it was just an experience because Billy, I would just listen to him and his programming and how he would build his set because I would listen to him when we'd open for DJs and I would listen to him when we'd headline, and he really taught me just by his style how to play and program. And so I would say my house that I play is through Billy. And then my hip hop I play is through Flipside. And Vince has just been one of those guys to where I wasn't a big hip hopper. Like, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't one of those things that I really would go to a club for. But with him, he made it so much fun. His blending, his scratching, his beat juggling, his tricks. I mean, if I had to go favorite Chicago DJs, Billy for house, Billy the Kid, and hip hop Flipside hands down.
Okay. Two legends,
Absolute legends. They were both on B96. I believe Flipside, he lives in New York now, and Billy's still in Chicago. But yeah, those are definitely, I would say, right off the bat, two favorites, and those are my two biggest influences.
Yeah, Flipside also I learned over the quarantine from watching his stream. He is extremely smart technologically.
Yes.
Like his shit, he was eons ahead of everyone else in the streaming game.
Oh yeah, he was just watching him, and he's one of those people too. He's so technical, but he's so smooth at the same time, to where it's fun to watch. And it's hard for me to watch a lot of DJs because it really isn't that fun. It's almost like it's the same. It was slamming in records and how they do it. Like I could just know what hip hop song or style they're going to go for, but Flip always kind of keeps me on my toes, and how he does it is just, I can watch him anytime.
Yeah, Flipside's legit, bro.
Yeah,
the radio was pretty big for me before, like when I first started getting into DJing. I was driving Jimmy John's still, delivering Jimmy John's.
There you go.
And I would listen to the radio all the time, and it was always 5. It was either Flipside or Timbuktu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah, Tim. I love Tim. Yeah, that's something I wish that we could have aired from yesterday. But yeah, we'll get that in the next subject. But yeah, Flip on the radio, dude. And he had the DJ every day at 5 o'clock, and it was just something new every time, and I respect that.
Yeah. What you want to talk about Timbuktu? What would you say you were at La Passage, right?
Timbuktu. Oh yeah, that's when I was coming up. One of my biggest, I would say, the first real gigs was La Passage, and that was a Rocker Ranch production nightclub before Underground, and I DJ'd there on a whim because I gave a demo to a guy, a promoter at Reserve back in the day, and they needed a house opener from 9 to 11.
Is he still in the game promoting to this day?
No,
I feel like promoters they never go away.
Yeah,
like the promo business is a good business.
It is a good business.
If you do it right, you can still be an old guy.
That, you know what? It first comes to mind is just it's George. and the Promo 7 group. They're going to be 80 years old.
Yeah,
just
but like he doesn't
throwing
even
crazy
look
parties.
that old.
Well,
I mean, George is the guy.
He's ageless.
Anytime I start having doubts about anything that has to do with like nightlife, like I'm drinking too much or I'm partying too much or I'm fucking too many hoes, like anything that I feel like I'm doing in excess, I'm like, but look at George.
Dude, George
he's
is
good.
And he's
like,
he's always he's always
like golden
smiling.
goose, dog.
He's always smiling. He's always, I mean, the guy he walks by you and he just puts you in a better mood. And he's going to be that way to 80, and he's going to be still rocking the beard and just swaggy ass clothes and just fucking 22-year-olds just around his arm. Just
Yeah, bro.
he's literally our
he's
Hugh
gonna have
Hefner.
a cape on. He's gonna have a fucking cape he's gonna have one of those, just one biker glove,
Yeah, he's gonna kill it.
dangly cross earring, and every bitch in the room is gonna be fighting each other to blow him.
Well, yeah.
And I'm just gonna be
yeah.
waiting outside for the scraps.
I mean, pretty much, it's one of those to where I don't ever want to bring my girlfriend, and if I had a girlfriend around him, just because I know somehow they're just going to get caught in that look, and it's just like, she's gone. She's gone away from me. God damn you, George.
I mean, there's a definite rule that I set for myself early on, and I said that if I ever fall in love with a woman, I already know that George Rizzio, and honestly, it was George Rizzio and Jesse Seely had already fucked this woman, but definitely more so George. But you were in there too, a little bit.
Okay,
you're a little sneaky guy.
Hey, man, I work in mysterious ways. The one thing I've learned about that is that I'm not the tallest guy, I'm not the biggest guy, but I know that I'm good. I'm funny. I can maneuver way into it, and that's why no one ever really expects me.
So you talk your way into
I talk. I'm a goofball, and the one thing is it's just straight up. There's no bullshit around it, and that's what's the thing with George is he just already has that aura. I actually got to work 10 times harder than him. He just shows up, and you just see him. You're like, I'm curious. I'm interested. Who is that guy?
Yeah,
I walk in a room.
bitches
It's
always
like,
talk about his eyes. He has such nice eyes.
well, what else do you look at? It's just all hair and then these two things coming right at you.
Such caring eyes.
Hey, they are. I mean, I've looked at them. I'm like, wait, Jesse, no, stop.
You don't not get it.
I get it. I get it, and it's one of those things to where, you know, if I got cheated on, it's like I slept with George. I'd be like, man, I get it. I would.
It was, obviously was the second or third time.
And George would be like,
time.
hey, man, you get it, right? I'd be like, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Shouts to fucking Promo 7. These guys got a boat now. Can
they-
I get a text back? Bro,
Yeah,
can
seriously.
Can I get a reply? You got a boat and I can't get a text back?
Dude, I mean, if they already weren't killing it, now they got a boat, and it's game over.
Yeah.
And now that Chicago's wide open, I mean, they're going to need a bigger boat.
They're going to need a bigger boat.
Uh-huh.
That's for goddamn sure.
God bless.
I need to get on that water, bro. I'm going home on Thursday. 1 week from today, I'm getting in that lake.
Yeah, we're gonna be
whether
there
I
same
gotta
weekend.
whether I gotta jump off the running fucking track into that bitch, or if I'm on someone's boat, if I gotta suck an old man's dick to get on a boat, god damn it, I will. I know how you girls feel.
Dude, summertime shy, man. How else you going to get on it?
My brother's big in the Tinder game. I don't fuck with Tinder. I hate it. I hate it so much. It makes me want to kill myself more than Instagram, which is a hard thing to do. But my brother's like, yo, all these girls in their Tinder bios, all it says is like, let me know if you can get me on a boat. Like, me and my girls want to get on a boat. Can you help us? Like, they're desperate out here.
Well,
They've been locked up.
Well, now you need a boat. That's all I heard is you need a boat.
Yeah, I need a boat.
Just rent a boat.
Why do you
pretend it's a
think
boat.
I texted George and Paul?
Well, their boats are already going to be full, and those girls are probably on the boat.
I'm trying to reserve their boat. I hit him up as like a customer, bro. I didn't even hit him up as a homie.
Be like, how much? What do
I was
I got to
like-
do? It's like you won't pay to get in a club, but I'll pay to get on George's boat.
Yeah,
100%.
Are you kidding me? There's no rules on the water. The water changes everything for these hoes. All of their morals are rooted in cement. Once you bring them on the water,
It's over. It's like international waters. You can do anything out there,
gone.
and they're gonna.
Yeah. God bless it.
I got to clap for George, man.
I'm fucking
He's
ready.
killing the game.
I'm fucking ready. What else? Who else we got? I like we're dabbling in some of yesterday's topics, which is not. It's so hard to do like how we did it.
It is,
you know, because you're like trying to redo it, but you can't redo it because everything that was done was just off the top. It's a weird feeling, but we're getting into some other things that we didn't talk about because we have a lot.
I mean,
we have a lot of years of drinking together.
A lot of years of drinking together.
And all that does is provide material for podcasts.
I mean, we can do an episode a day of just a weekend. I mean, even just with me by myself, from beating up cab drivers for taking me the wrong way and going to jail to going to the hospital from drinking way too much on your show.
On the Strategy and Dolo show.
To almost dying. I mean, we got stories for days. I mean, how about this? Just pick one and we can go from there.
Yeah, I like because it's fresh on your mind, and we didn't get to talk about it yesterday. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Breanna Frost.
Breanna Frost. It's so funny that you brought her up, man. So there's a day that we were playing at this place called Castaways in Chicago.
Shouts to Gem Inside, DJ Firm.
And we were up there, and there was this beautiful, beautiful girl that was just dancing in this bikini, but she kept staring at the DJ booth. And I'm like, she's looking at me. I'm like, because this is gonna be good. Yeah. So she started coming up and asking my name and dancing and being all flirty eyes. And then I got done. We started talking. And next thing I know, we're walking to this guy's house, and we're just sitting on the couch, and I still have no idea who this person is. I didn't find out till later.
But the sexual chemistry was thick.
Super thick.
It was thick in the air.
So
I mean, I was getting horny watching you guys.
Well, just wait. So we get back to the place, and he goes, "You're going to fuck her, right?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And he goes, "Well, I'm going to come out here naked. I'm going to fuck her with you, and you're going to... And I'm going to say I don't know where my car is. This is where I park the car." I'm like, yeah. Now, mind you, this is still early in our friendship, so I don't really know too much about Zach. Only the DJing, we drinking, he's just a cool kid to hang around. Well, we start fucking. She's on top of me riding, and we're in the heat of the moment. All of a sudden, I just, out of the corner of my eye, see this big, hairy fucking dick. It's right there. And we both look, and she screams and goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he goes, "This is where I parked my car." And I'm in shock, silence, just holding her like this, going, She freaks out, tells him to get the fuck out of there. And it was just a moment in time that I will never forget. One, it was the first time I saw what your dick looked like, which I hate to say it. I've seen your dick too many times.
You like that.
Second, I knew from there on, when Zach says he's going to do something, the motherfucker's going to do it. If he's anything crazy, never going to question him. Be like, "Yes, you are. You're going to do that."
I mean, it was so... It wasn't even a second thought in my mind. I mean, this just goes to show, the filth that I grew up with.
But
this is nothing new. This was not the first time that had happened. And I thought that you understood house rules.
No, I've never had to deal with that before, and now I know.
You never had roommates?
No, never. I've never had a roommate in my life.
See,
the only people.
That's the thing. Like, if a roommate brings a girl home, you have it's a previously agreed upon thing that you can come into the room naked, mm-hmm. and if the girl's into it, you're good to go. She's into it. If she's not into it, then you go, "Oh, this isn't where I parked my car," and you leave.
Yeah, and she was definitely not into it, which then blew my mind because after we fucked, she left, and he goes, "You know who that is, right?" I go, "No." He goes, "That's Breanna Frost." I was like, "What the fuck is that?" It's like, "She's a porn star." I went, "I just fucked a porn star on her couch." He goes, "Yep, yeah, you're welcome."
Which is why I was shocked when I had to hit her with the line.
I
thought I was in for sure. But apparently, people like to say if you make burgers at McDonald's, you don't like to go home and flip burgers. Mm-hmm. I get it. This is what she does for a living.
Right.
She probably is getting paid to do gangbangs. So when she fucks a DJ, she only wants to be one at a time.
And she's not being told what to do. She's actually controlling the outcome.
Yeah.
Which means two things.
Yeah. Now, had this been later on when Cash App was more readily available, I think we would have had other options.
It's like, all right, you got Venmo? Yeah, it's like, fine.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this. I have thoughts about it to where if
I
she
think
would have
about
been,
it,
if she
I
would have
think
said,
about it a lot too.
if she would have said yes, I got to tell you,
What would you have done?
you just go with it. You have to go. I mean, I'm not going to leave my boy hanging when he took a shot that you just don't take. And if you get rejected, cool. But when you get that okay, it's more of what? All right, so it worked, and I wouldn't leave you hanging there. I mean, just don't look at me. I guess that's the only thing I could say, and then we'll just finish her off together.
Yeah. Well, see, this is how I know that you've never done such a thing.
Well, it's funny that you say that because after that happened, it reminded me of something that happened with my buddy who I toured with, but that was because I knew him. And I've done that before, but it was different with multiple girls, not just one girl and being like, uh-oh.
Yeah, no, when it's one girl and two guys, it's not sexual at all.
No.
It's actually, for me, especially, I can't even keep my dick hard because I'm laughing too hard. You're naked in front of your boy trying to do something that should be done by yourself.
Privately,
you know what I mean? Like you're vulnerable. Like you're just laughing. You're cracking up. Like it's not a sexual. It turns it from a sexual experience into just a mockery of what it is. Like,
but
it's a good time. It's fun. It's bonding experience.
Literally.
You're also you're not just like laughing out loud, like humiliating the girl. You're like trying to keep it together, but like you're looking at your boy and you're both like, you know what I mean? It's just like
it's hard. It's how do you not laugh at each other, especially when you have the relationship that we do? And man, I think I'm thinking about it more now. If she would have said yes, I don't know if I could have done it. I don't know if I would have stayed hard, and I would have just started laughing. And then she would have left. It would have been a whole messy story.
Yeah.
So thank you, I guess.
Good times though. We'll try again tonight.
I mean,
we'll see what happens.
It's Thursday. Thursdays.
House rules. If you want, I'll blow up the air mattress.
I mean, that's fine.
Oh yeah, got the beanbag.
You got the beanbag, the love sack.
Trusty beanbag. That is the love sack. Mm-hmm. That is the fucking love sack.
Yeah. See, and that's just one story that we have. I mean, we talked about Milwaukee, and that's not even just you and I. That's me, you, and the Dolan.
I think we got to wait for Dolo on
I
that
think
one.
that's
we need
one.
to leave something for him to chime in on, and he would be good on that.
Because there's a part in that story to where I want to know why he got so angry. I want to hear the words coming out of his mouth.
I don't even know if he'll be able to tell you. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't remember him getting angry. Moving on. We
need
to talk about something for the people.
All right.
For the people.
What we got for the people?
For the people, let's talk about this is a DJ based podcast, so I feel like some music related, maybe DJing related. Like, what are some of the thoughts that you have in your head where I don't know if this even happens to you. This happens to me all the time. When I'm working out or like I'm on the treadmill or something, and like something will pop into my head where I'm like, oh, that's like a good thought. I need to like people need to know about this. You know what I mean?
So like an edit or a mix or a remix. What do you got?
No, I'm just talking about the subject of like DJing, like maybe a metaphor for the music, the energy of bringing a crowd somewhere or doing something in your DJ set that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's something special that you do as a DJ that makes it your own style? So
I would have to say, being an open format DJ, it's a typical thing these days, but I would like to think my blend of hip hop and house music that I can do at once, not remixes that's already pre-made, that I can put both of those styles together for people who don't like house music and people who don't like hip hop, that can enjoy both of them at the same time. And I feel my programming is down to a T. I've been doing it for 21 years, so I mean, it would make sense for it. But I would say a lot of these cats out there, you know, they just play some of the hottest records, and that's fine. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. But that's easy work for anybody to dance to. But if you can take a record that's and a beat that's and still put it together and blend it and make it into something that I didn't think that would work, or I didn't know I'm enjoying this, that's what I know I can do very well.
Do you think that came from DJing in Chicago and having that, like, oh, we don't want hip hop here kind of thing? So you're having, because you can't just not play hip hop.
No, you have to.
People love hip hop. Even when EDM was the shit, you still sprinkled a little hip hop in.
Yeah, I mean,
but there's a lot of places that are like, we don't want hip hop here. You can't play hip hop here. And I feel like something like that, where you're blending the two together so well, would come from that challenge of being like, okay, these guys don't want hip hop. How can I play hip hop but get away with it?
Absolutely. So I could say what made my hip hop very strong. Like, I could do hip hop. It's easy for me, but to enjoy playing it is what I needed to learn, because I was sick of playing the same sets and the same kind of music, and it's like, how do I spice this up? And so having those people say you need to play a lot of hip hop or you need to play a lot of dance or this and that, it always tested me each set to kind of figure out where I could go, because it's one thing practicing at your house. Nobody's here. You don't know if it's going to work or not. I would say I've taken so many risks just so I don't get one, bored with my set, and also make the people bored, because there are certain songs that go together that you can hear another DJ that has never heard you in your life play, and they've played the same mix that you have. And I like to switch that up, because there's so many different ways and techniques and patterns that you really can throw in there that could spice up an old set with the same music.
Yeah, you're the only person I know that uses the 3/4 echo. You know, everyone uses either half or whole.
Yeah.
You use a 3/4, and I love when you do it, but I can't do it.
Why?
It's so weird to me. It doesn't sound right. It's I've never heard anybody use that echo ever, other than you. But when you do it, it's great.
It's more of a, you know, you have a good record. How can I, you know, and it's not using it excessively, because there's people out there to where you're just the whole time, and you're like, well, I don't even know what the song sounds like.
Yeah,
but it's
even
just
on just the transitions too, just the echo, you know, out into the next song when it's that 3/4. That was something that always was like,
yeah,
I like that guy does that.
That thing, you know, you just kind of mess around with the mixer and you really find out what you like, because yeah, there are people that will do the half, and it's just it's kind of the same, but that little extra, it somehow it just flows better with me, and it with mixes and builds, especially when we're doing builds, it adds so much more to the clap that once it finally hits, you're like, whoa, it's not the same clap pattern that you get in all these songs.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice switch up. It's like having a girlfriend for 10 years that had really small titties, and then you guys break up. It's a good breakup, though. It's not bad.
Right.
It's good for both parties. Everyone's happy about it. And then you have sex with the hooker that has double Ds, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mama.
It just adds on. I mean, you had to pay for it, but was it worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to like mixing the hip hop in the house. I feel like that made me a better DJ, and it was kind of a struggle, because as a DJ or an artist or whatever, you want to be like, whoa, don't tell me what to do. I mean, we even talked about this earlier. Managers telling you what to do. You're like, don't tell me what to do. But you only get that. You have to earn that.
Yeah.
When you first start in a club, if you want to be a club DJ, you have to understand how to take the critiquing and the instructions of the person who's running the venue. You know what I mean? Like when I first worked at Stout, it was that. It was like, we want this. Don't play any of this. Play this only. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, I'm a DJ. I want to play everything, this and that. But being able to suck it up and just do what I was told brought the creativity out of like, all right, I'm going to try and sneak this in with this, and hopefully he won't get mad, you know, because I'm playing some shit that I technically shouldn't be playing. Now the fucking camera's fucking up. But yeah, that sort of, I almost feel like helped bring out creativity.
It's like being a rebellious teenager. Like you can't tell me to do this and that. Maybe if I do this, it's a creative, fun thing that I can do. And it's funny that you bring up Stout because I DJ'd Game Sound there before, and I was playing rock music. I was playing, you know, like heavy stuff that you would hear at a game or a stadium. And I'll never forget when the owner came up to me and goes, "Hey, could you play some football music?" I'm like, "I am." He's like, "What's football music to you?" And he goes, like Flow Rider, Wild Ones.
That's his favorite song.
It's his favorite. And I paused because I thought he was fucking with me. I'm like, and I looked at him. I go, "So you're telling me 300-pound men that are tackling each other, blood, guts, breaking bones, nothing but masculinity and just men on the field, want to hear, 'Hey, I heard you were around.'"
Yo, you sound so good right now.
Thank
You might get us a copyright violation on YouTube.
Sorry, but I did that, and I said those exact words and sang the song, and he looked at me and he goes, Yeah, you can play something else." And it was
And then he probably fired you the next day.
Well, he didn't like my attitude because I didn't like his attitude.
Yeah. Who have you met a managerial positioned man that does like your attitude?
Well, here's the hard problem with that is that a lot of these places, especially in Chicago, I've worked with these people, so it's hard to meet a new manager. I mean, when you've been working in the city for, you know, since I was 15, and I'm 34, it's hard to not meet someone you don't know. But there have been people that I've met, and there's only a couple of them that I could legitimately say I fucking hate. But normally, I'm a nice guy. I'll introduce myself, you know, tell them what you don't like, this and that, so I could prep. But if you're going to present shittiness to me, I'm going to present shittiness to you. And that was what I got immediately when I started working at Stout. And it was just this dainty-looking boy of a man, and he just would talk to me like that to where I'm not a big guy here, but I will slap the shit out of you. And I couldn't take it. And then he said a comment like that about Wild Ones while I'm playing like AC/DC, like rock music, heavy stuff that you would hear like between games to pump it up. And he wants to hear Wild Ones. Of course he does.
I'm fucking dead. All right. No, that's good. That's good. I mean, like I said earlier, you know, the views and reflections of Jesse Seely do not directly reflect back.
Oh, no, these are 100% mine.
Dolo show. I like to think that that I learned a lot at Stout through the struggle.
Oh, you did. You hustled. It made you a lot of money. It definitely helped you in a way. It's just I've been doing it for so long that was not going to happen to me ever.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. Like, you got to earn that position. I was not in the position to act like that. Mm-hmm. You were.
Yes.
You're 10 years in the game. And sometimes, like, you have to know, like, you know, pick and choose your battles, what they say, right? Like, you have to know when to be that egotistical asshole because you did earn it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I remember at one point, I was trying to get into underground when they first reopened. When Architect was doing Thursdays, I had never, ever been to the old underground. Mm-hmm. Only been to the new one. I even went with him on their, like, soft opening night and met everyone. This is when I was brand new. And then every time I tried to get into underground from then, it was obviously it was a fucking hassle. Martin was a fucking dickbag at the door. Yeah. Yai was a cocksucker.
Anthony,
R.I.P. And now I understand that it's the same thing. You have to earn it, right? Like, I didn't get that. I would always ask Architect, like, yo, can you get me in? Can you get me in? And at one point he was like, yo, I can't help you because you need to be able to get in on your own. And he was like, he's like, tell these guys who you are. You've been here. Tell them where you work, what you do, this and that. And I remember one night it was just me and fucking Yai outside. Not a single other person. It was a shitty night. Nobody was fucking there. And this guy's pretending like I'm not there. And I was like, yo, are you serious? Like, you've seen me 1,000 times. Like, stop being a fucking asshole and let's make this happen. You know what I mean? And from then on, I started getting like a little bit of respect. You know what I mean? So you have to do that at some point. You have to fight for yourself.
You let people know you're the real deal, because then they'll just walk all over you, and then they'll think you're nothing. Especially if you're coming up in the game, introduce yourself, let them know who you are, or you're just anyone can walk over and be like, "Oh, hey, I'm strategy. Let me in."
Right?
Who the fuck is strategy?
Right. Yeah. So, and that's something that I feel like I still take from to this day, especially being out here in Houston too. I get a lot of like, I get it. In Chicago, we made a name for ourselves, this and that. We're in a new city now. But there's just like, I've been doing this, not here, but I've been doing this back there for a long time. Like, it's all the same people. I know you. You're the Houston version of this guy.
Yep.
And there's these people that I know are just the biggest fucking losers who treat me like I'm a loser. And I'm like, what? Like, and I have to be like, okay, I get it. I'm new. Like, I'll suck some dicks and shake some babies. It's fine. But there is a couple points where I do have to reach back into my bag, and I'm like, hey, listen, you fucking jerk off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I in Dallas, when I moved down there and opened up the places, it's going around. It was just like that, going around River North, and it's like, yeah, you're the bouncer from Joy I fucking hate. You're the manager from Electric Hotel that I can't fucking stand.
Whoa. He's here, bro.
I know, he's right here. What is? But yeah, I mean, it's all the same. It's different names, different faces, but the same players. Yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, it sucks that you have to do it, but I mean, it's just things that you have to do, man. And especially in a new city, it sucks, but it's part of the game.
Yes, sir. And it's nice because you know where you're at. You know what I mean? You know, like, okay, I'm starting here. Okay, now I'm here. Now I'm here. Like, you've done it already. You've played this game before. So every level that you're at, you recognize. It's not a new level. It's not as fun. There's an advantage to knowing the game, but the disadvantage is that it's not new and fun.
It's a pain in the ass is what it is. And it's one of those things to where, you know, you don't want to be that guy that says, do you know who I am? But you say it in your head because you're like, man, if these motherfuckers knew who I were, I wouldn't have to be doing this shit right now. Yeah,
you can't have an ego problem because it's not going to get you anywhere.
No, because then they'll know.
You need to use it proportionately, responsibly.
Yeah.
It's like drinking.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, oh, God. I wish that the video worked yesterday so you could talk about how you almost killed me.
Yeah, well, we could tell him. I mean, you know, we used to do shots for shares. The Strategy and Dolo show was a first live Facebook show, and we were always trying to like come up with a scheme, like a marketing thing. How can we get more people to watch? What can we do? Shots for shares, which was every share the video got, we would take a shot. Then that it started taking off. It became a thing. We're like, okay, this is tight. And then we started having guests. And towards the end, it was like, yo, let's get like a couple guests on so that like they can do all the drinking and we'll not drink as much because this is fucking killing us.
Yeah.
So, you know, who better to call for the job than Jesse the Tank SEELY? We didn't even need anyone else. We just needed one guy. Handle it all.
It was bad, and it was a time that I was drinking heavily, and I was getting a little messy. So it was the best time to do it because I literally woke up in the morning, I took a piss, I look at my phone, it goes, hey, you want to drink today? I go, sure. And he's like, cool, you're coming over for shots for shares. I was like, let's do it.
Yeah, so we got him his favorite alcohol, Crown Royal, with his favorite chaser,
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Most people chase their Crown with cocaine.
I don't
Jesse
do drugs.
Seely, just Coca-Cola. We do shots for shares. I'm not drinking. I think Jesse got Dolo to start drinking to take a little bit of the load off. But this man drank far too much alcohol. Far too much alcohol for even if all three of us drank that much. We may have all been in the hospital together next to each other. But this guy ends up passing out on my couch. And me and Dolo are there watching him, monitoring him. Didn't really think anything of it until he started puking up brown liquid, which at first we thought was blood. And then we're trying to wake him up because he's like throwing up and shit. He's like dry heaving, and it's like it's just a mess. And he's not waking up. And at that point, it started to get a little serious. We were like, okay, this kid's not waking up. Things are coming out of his mouth. Let's call a mutual friend of ours who is a nurse. And we were like, yo, we told her Jesse's passed out. We think he's throwing up blood. And she was like, well, I don't think it's blood. I think it's the Crown and Coke. But just to be safe, why not? Just take him to the hospital. We're like, okay. After the phone call, things are just getting worse. He's just looking more like he's dying. He's like not breathing as prominently. He's like still trying to dry heave. So now we grab this motherfucker's dead body. I got his arms under his shoulders. Dolo's got his knees, and we're bringing him through the backyard, put him in the back of the car. We're flying down the highway to get to the hospital. We're in a full-blown panic. We think that Jesse is dying. Like, both of us, we 100% had the same vision. We were like, we are going to be arrested and excommunicated for killing Jesse Seely.
And you filmed it. You did it live.
And it's all on video. We can't even lie about it. We can't even say he did it to himself.
It's right there.
Yeah, so we're fucking freaking out, and we're carrying him into the hospital. This lady sees us through the glass doors coming in, like freaking out. She gets up from the reception desk and she's like, oh my God, what did he have? And we were like, alcohol. And she was like, oh, just throw him over there. and when her not freaking out, because she's obviously seen this 1,000 times, gave us a little bit of relief. We're like, okay, thank God. And then, yeah, he spent the night in the hospital. They didn't pump his stomach or anything, but he just had to spend the night there, be under the UV lights and soak up some energy, and then you were good.
I just remember this episode starting and then waking up with an IV in my arm going, what the fuck happened? And they're like, hey, buddy, how you feeling? I'm like, guys, what happened? Well, come to find out, I drank a large bottle of Crown by myself and half a bottle of a regular bottle of Crown by myself in a matter of 45 minutes.
Can we get you on camera one more time, real close to the mic? I just want you to say, by myself.
By myself. Jesse Seely drank by himself.
Okay.
But
just so we have it on record.
They bought it. I did not supply my own alcohol. I did not supply my own Coca-Cola, nor the questions. It was a trick. They tricked me, and they gave me stupid questions that obviously third graders can answer. Like, I couldn't spell restaurant, and I didn't know what was the most popular song of that year, which was, like, what, Wiz Khalifa, the Paul Walker song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Dude, the music charts, I don't think the music, like the music charts are fake news. The
They
way
have
that
to
the
be.
news on TV is not real news, the music charts are not real news.
No.
Either. Like, we're out here in these streets DJing. When they said that coronavirus is going to kill every single person, like a month ago, not when it first happened, I believed it, but like last month when they were yelling at me about my mask because everyone's dying.
Nobody's dying.
I'm in these streets, all right? The only people that are dead are the bums from the heroin overdoses in Midtown Houston, and that's it.
I mean, I got it twice, and I was perfectly fine.
Yeah, but I don't know why I took it there. But
That's
yeah,
fine.
the music charts, I don't think, but that was the thing. It's like you probably said like the biggest song that we know is the biggest song.
Yeah.
You look at the music chart and it's like Wiz Khalifa's Paul Walker tribute from Fast and the Furious 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But that's it. Especially being a DJ, that's it's great and it's terrible all at the same time because we get to listen to new records that come out every day, and it sucks that there's certain records that come up not to take away from anyone that's in the top spot now because There are some good stuff out there.
I think it's been Tyga for the last 12 years.
Yeah, and it's just how is this not the popular one? How is this? If I play this song compared to the one that's on the top of the charts right now, this song is going to get way more of a response than this one. Yeah. And I don't want to know how those come to be, because it doesn't make sense to me.
It's like the 6 and 7-year-old kids that are hearing it on the radio that just repeatedly play it on Spotify.
Yeah.
That like boost it up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hate
We're
that.
dealing with their parents. We're dealing with their 21-year-old parents at the club. Mm-hmm. Different animal.
100%.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you felt that we covered last episode that we did not cover here today?
Oh yeah, the Timbuktu and Paul Blair. So that was I would say the start of me really taking off in Chicago, because I got booked. We kind of said it earlier. I got booked to play La Passage, and I was only supposed to open from 9 to 11. And only play house music. Well, Paul Blair, DJ White Shadow, Lady Gaga's producer and DJ, shout out to him. He was, soon to be my new boss. Well, I didn't know that. So he was late. Don't know why. It's Paul. He's a maniac. There's obviously a good reason.
Many reasons. Was he late, or did he just not show up?
No, he was late. He came on, I want to say maybe. All right, so I was only supposed to play 11. I didn't get done till almost 2 o'clock. And then he came on. I was only just supposed to do a little set.
Yeah.
And so he was late, but I also, being prepared, I was told to have some hip hop. So I brought some hip hop. I didn't know how much I was gonna have to play, but I burned.
These were CDs that you burned.
I burned CDs. So, and they only had dual players, which, if you don't know, it's just a little bar that has your channels and your time, and it has a pitch and 2 buttons, plus and minus, for your speed. Well, I had to press eject. The thing would come out, old school, and you have to put in. And if I ran out of that track, I'd have to do another from my CD case. Wait, put it in, and then that's how I would play my hip hop. And that was a pain in the ass. And I didn't know how to scratch. Especially having to do it on duals was rough. So I would just hit that cue button almost like a stutter scratch. So it'd be like, and then I would just press play, and that was my scratch in, or my blend. And I learned really how to play hip-hop firsthand that way, because he was late. I had that time to actually practice, because I never had equipment. I still don't have equipment. I didn't get it till a couple months ago when I actually bought a controller just for mobile stuff. But Paul was late, and then I literally ran out of, I had maybe 3 songs left on my last CD, and Paul comes in and played, and then I saw him, and he blew my mind. His energy, he took his shirt off, he got on the mic, he was insane, and I never saw this, because I was only going to house parties or house clubs or house events, and this guy was motherfucking blah, 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 and just raise your fucking hand, screaming, rah! And I'm like, this dude's a fucking rock star. I was blown away by it. And so I got asked at the end of the night to come back and play, because they really liked me. And so the next day was Saturday. I was playing, and then this guy came in named Timbuktu. No idea who he was. Found out to come out, he was just this legend. And he's like a cool salamander. He was a super chill. Came in there like, what's up, man? Talking, and next thing I know, I'm playing every Friday and Saturday and Thursday with DJ Sincere, who is a Chicago DJ who now lives in Vegas DJing. I was now their opener. So from there, I got to play with big dogs. And you see where they come now. Paul Blair's, Lady Gaga's DJ and producer and tour guy. Sadly, we lost Timbuktu, and he was just a legend. He was on he was on Power 92, right?
No, WGCI.
Or WGCI, that's what he was.
Yep.
And we had Timbuktu Tuesdays, and then Sincere busted his ass. I mean, Sincere, he was one of the guys that was playing all over Chicago, and then he would call me, and then Paul would call me, and then Tim would call me whenever they needed extra guys, and that's how I got to open up Underground when Paul was my boss, and I was really going all around, and it was only because Paul was late. And I always keep thinking about that. If Paul wasn't late and I had that time to, one, just learn how to play a hip-hop set and obviously do it well because they asked me back, would I really be as far as I am now because of him being late?
Yeah. It's those crazy things that happen.
Yeah.
Like after I got done jerking off and you called me to come play El Jefe.
Exactly. You know what? I know you didn't have the energy and you had sticky fingers, but you know what? You came in there and
But
then
God damn it, I mustered up some fucking testosterone energy and I came through. And I don't even remember how the night went, honestly. Like I don't even think I don't think that. I don't even what like.
Well,
you know what I do remember? You were playing Martin Slovak or
Yeah,
whatever that guy's
Slovak,
name is. The song that like should have made it but didn't. Hey Now, I think.
yeah, Hey Now. That was the one that sounded. What is it? I can't think of the song, but it was his follow up to that record that sounds exactly like it.
Yeah, it's a good record,
Yeah.
but it just never took off.
No,
like
it
it
didn't.
works in the club, but it was never a big song.
Oh, it sounded just like Hello. It was the follow up to Hello.
Yeah,
it had
yeah,
the same drum pattern, and everything, just different vocals.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember you were playing that, and I was like, "Hey, I play this too. All right, cool, we're good."
That's a funny thing. They actually, when you go in to DJ, like when I first started coming up, that I would buy records I think no one else would have, and I got it first, and then I hear a guy that I really like play it. I'm like, all right, cool. It looks like we're on the same page. You almost feel cool that you're playing the same thing.
Yeah, it's a little connection.
Yeah,
And that's how I knew we were gay
Yeah,
for each other.
I mean, if that wasn't it, I mean, it might have been if we fucked that girl together.
Yeah. Well, what if we just started fucking each other, and she was like, "This is weird. I gotta go. I'm calling an Uber."
I mean, you wanted gigs, didn't you?
Yeah. So, I mean, in short, this is a DJ podcast, and we try and give as much helpful information as possible. So loosen up those jaws, boys. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, thank you. Is there anything else? I feel like this was good. This is great. I'm still upset about the other one, but these things happen. I'm glad we came back. We fucking did it.
Mm-hmm.
Staying consistent with it, coming out on a weekly basis. My guy Diamond cut on the fucking edits, baby. Listen, we're gonna have some things to talk about. I got some ideas. We need to get the people riled up for Jesse here. Let's fucking go, champ. Thank you guys for joining us. Hit the like button, drop a comment, subscribe on the YouTube page. Follow Jesse at Jesse Seely on Instagram, JESSESEELY.
Yes, sir.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. We're fucking out here, baby. Until next time. Thank you.
Thank you.